So we are going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 48, and in the last episode was the big World War III. With that, we saw the collapse of colonialism throughout the world. We also saw a plague that wiped out pretty much all the white countries besides kind of Oceania, Africa, Australia, and North America. But all the white countries pretty much inside of Asia, the Middle East, and Europe all fell apart because of the plague. After that plague was kind of a refurbish in life. What I'm saying is people now believe that divine interference had to have been made because they are still alive. But none of them can agree on which divine power led them to survive. So they started killing each other. And it took 15 years for this video to take place, which it now is. Which in this timeline, it is now 1924. The war ended 6 to 8 years after it started. I think I said 8 years. So when the war ended in 1917. And now, well, they had to wait because everyone kept killing each other, so they couldn't really establish a peace treaty. But here we are, so enough of me yapping. Let's go ahead and get into World War III peace treaty. Let's start off with Wales, who is one of the leaders of the Triangle Alliance, but I'm going to be honest, the Triangle Alliance may not exist after this, at least with a lot of the African countries. Provinces and major cities are going to be on for some of this. So if this blinds you, I'm sorry, but not sorry. We see Wales stealing these provinces away from the Dutch team. These are provinces that they invaded into during the war. But, now they have a bigger kind of area inside of Europe. And this is going to be relevant. Let's look at the religion of the British Isles. Wales controls most of this, but a lot of this is under the control of... a lot of the religion is different from Wales. We could see some wars breaking out. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but... Anyways, let's go ahead and go over to the Lime team. Which we see the Lime team getting these provinces from the Dutch team. So they have just expanded north. And I do want to say, a lot of these European countries don't have a lot of population at the moment, and that is because of the plague. But the reason it took so long for this peace treaty to arise was because they were building up their populations and stuff. So they're higher than they were when the war ended, but they're still not up to that point where it was before the war. Down in Iberia, they had a civil war, but we're not looking at that right now. That will be next, but we need to look at the provinces that the Lime team is taking, which we see the Lime team taking over pretty much all of the areas that they occupied, plus some of these areas over here. The Lime team is also going to take control over these islands. And, well, there's the Lime team's peace treaty. They got quite a bit of land out of this, and they're happy. Now let's look at Iberia. They experienced a civil war, and I'm going to keep their same color, but really this whole area is very unstable right now. It's because of the plague, but if we look at this... don't mind up here. I'll talk about that later. But up over here in Iberia, it's all united underneath one religion, yes. But it's still very unstable from the plague and stuff. So they're going to be having to let a couple areas go. Guess who's back? Back again. It's the Southern Iberians. For probably the millionth time in this series, the Southern Iberians are back. Yay. Or maybe you guys could love them. Who knows? But these guys take over quite a bit of land. And, well, with this new government, the Blue Iberians want to remain kind of a neutral country. They don't want to get involved in any wars anymore, so they probably won't be reuniting all of Iberia again. They are taking on the neutral route, but this area is still very unstable, so they're going to be having to let go another area. Which, over here, we have Portugal being released. Well, at least this timeline's version of Portugal being released. And that will be the last area that they let go. And if they have to fight a war, they might just do that to keep this whole area together. Although they want to be neutral, they can't afford to let go any more land. And so we have the Iberians back underneath a democratic kind of republic. They were a kind of dictatorship before this, but now they have changed their government, and, well, there is the Peace Treaty of Iberia. I do want to say this is also going to be a pretty long video, just like the last one. The last one was 45 minutes long, which is a lot. This one is going to kind of be the same. At least that's what I'm expecting. Anyways, let's go ahead over here to Italy, where if we look at the religion map, you can see that, well, all of these areas are kind of where the red team used to rule. Except for these areas, because these areas are kind of separatists. Although it's a runoff of the religion, they don't consider themselves the same. You pretty much see the red team getting these lands. So as you can see, we have the red team getting pretty much all of these areas that they have, and Corsica. And, well, this area up here, it's going to be turned into its own country. This area used to be a vassal of the red team, but now they're going to be put into their own country, finally. Which, if we look at the religion map, is a runoff of the red team's religion, so they're okay with being put off as their own country. Religion is a big matter, and they will be turning into this bluish color. There is that. There's this northern Italian stuff, and, well, northern Italy is gone, I think. I don't know if you guys are happy about that or not, but it's gone. Let's go over to southern Italy, where we have this pinkish southern Italian country getting all of these areas. I was joking about that. They get this boot right here. They don't get Sicily. They're kind of mad about that, but it's whatever. Because, well, we'll look at this in a second. Sicily was unfortunate that they got kind of destroyed by the plague. But, yeah, well, now there's only 2 countries, well, 3 countries that are going to be in the Italian peninsula, if you include Sicily. Anyways, that's pretty much the peace treaty of Italy. Let's go over to the Balkans. I'm not talking about these Balkans. I'm talking about Slovenia and the purple team, where we actually see Slovenia getting pretty much all the land they have plus extra. And this is the Slovenian Empire. Yeah, I don't think you guys expected this, but Slovenia has their own empire. Slovenia is back to their neutral ways, and, well, I think you guys are going to be happy. I mean, come on, it's Slovenia. Who doesn't love a good Slovenia? They gave them this land because of all the stuff they've been through in their life. Being invaded by the Italians, well, not the red Italians, but being invaded by the Italians, then revolting, then being invaded by Poland and the Italians, then being invaded by the Dutch. It's just crazy. Now let's look at the purple team. We have the purple team pretty much becoming the new Yugoslavia, which we have them getting all this land, and we actually see them thinking about, they're actually very contemplating it. But, what was I going to say? I remembered. They're thinking about selling this over to the red team because the red team really wants it, and they can't really afford to keep it anymore. It's a lot of money to keep it. It's not a lot of money, but they need the money right now. Their economy is kind of not doing good. Anyways, I need to get rid of some of these capital cities, and I need to give some of these countries capital cities that I have given so far. The Portuguese capital city will be there. For this southern Iberians, it will be there where it used to be. And for this blue one, it will go there because that's the only one they have. And for Slovenia, back to where it used to be. There is that Balkan peace treaty. The Balkans are not done yet because we need to go down and do Greece, where it's going to be easy. We just see the purple Greek team annexing all of the golden Greek lands. And they get rid of Athens as the capital. That was pretty easy. Let's go over and see what lands the green Greeks are going to take. Pretty much none of these lands are theirs, and you can even see the golden Greek religion is still around because of how fascist they were. But do not worry, as the green Greeks have kind of turned into an old fascist version of themselves, kicking out these areas over here, going over here, and just, yeah, no more fascist Greek religion over here. This isn't really fascist Greek, it's more just the purple Greek. But as you can see, there's not really a lot of land that they can take that's in their religion. All of it is new religion, so they're actually going to have to take some land from that, because they demand that. We see the Greeks taking over these provinces, and this is all they're going to take, but it kind of cripples these new nations that will be popping up. But the reason they take that, you will see in a second, Because over here, although I didn't show it, Constantinople actually declares their independence away from both of this kind of Limish rebellion over here, Anatolia, and from Greece, and from this Golden Greek country. I mean, the Green Greek country. Or thrice, many names, but they will be taking these lands. Their capital city will be there. I know it's not Constantinople, but it's pretty much close enough. Also, you can call this Istanbul, Thrice, whatever you guys want to. Thrice is kind of over in this region. I just like to call this Thrice because it's just easier. Now let's look at Anatolia's peace treaty because they kind of got destroyed. And, well, you'll see how destroyed they get. Anatolia will be getting these lands back, but that is not all, as Anatolia is actually going to be splitting in two. If we look at the religion map, some of these Golden Greek areas still rely out. And, well, that's not very good because, well, most of these areas are actually going to declare their independence. That was my fault. I already colored it in. But we see this kind of gold, like this bluish Turkish nation popping up right there, taking over some of these islands. And they actually get Crete as well. Crete is a part of the Golden religion, and they opted to join up with this bluish Turkish country. Anatolia is actually very sad about this because this blue nation also has a kind of exclave. So, yeah, it's kind of... Anatolia is not doing good right now. But now we need to sort out this Cyprus problem, which Cyprus will be getting these provinces. And that is pretty much all, but we now have a new country rising up here. And this new country is the Lime team. Now, no, this is not the same Lime team as this one. And you guys will see why I made this country Lime, because, yeah, you'll see. But we now have Turkey being divided quite a bit. And we now see this Lime team's capital going up there, where the old Turkish capital is. And for this blue team, their capital will be there. So there is that. Now let's go ahead and look at the Ukrainian peace treaty with Cyprus and Russia. If we look at this like Cyan religion is still around. It's just a lot less than it used to be because, well, actually, no, I think it controls most of the area that it once was. But a lot of these other areas of Ukraine were a part of the Russian religion. But the thing is, some of these areas might not even be going over to Russia. Cyprus is actually going to take control over this Crimean Peninsula. And all of these areas are also actually going to be going over... Oh, wait, not that. All of these areas will be going over to Cyprus. And they make this decision without the Russians' permission. The Russians are going to get the rest of Ukraine. But they're kind of mad about the fact that they didn't really get to discuss this with Cyprus. The Cyprus leader just went ahead and made the peace treaty. Russia will also annex their puppet state over here. And I'm going to say it right now. The riddle that none of you got, it was Russia. But we are now looking at the Russian Empire. After this video, you will see the greatest extent of the Russians, I think. And although they are a democracy can still be an empire. So you will see what the Russian Empire will look like at the end of this video. But now let's look at the lands Russia will take over here in kind of Central Europe or the Balkans, whatever you consider it. We see Russia actually taking a lot more land than they actually invaded. And, well, you'll see why this is very important in a second. The reason why this is so controversial is because if we look at the religion map, Russia has pretty much just stopped a lot of these own religions that want to be their own thing to be their own thing. I'm going to flip between these two for a second, so if you want to pause the video, at some of these areas you can see, but Russia has taken over a lot of these areas that they really shouldn't have. Remember, religion is a big thing, and if you're killing people, because that's pretty much what all these countries are doing. It's not just the fascist nations, although the fascist nations may be doing it the most. Just know that taking land that isn't in your religion, especially right now, it could be a very bad thing. Anyways, those are the lands that Russia took from Central Europe. Let's go ahead and look at the peace treaty right here. In the last video, I didn't really show the explosion of Warsaw. That was my fault, but what I meant to show was the revival of the Prussian country. As you can see over here, Prussia, they inhabited a lot more of this Polish area, but this Polish area has since changed their religion, and only these areas rely of the old Prussian religion, which we just have Prussia pretty much getting all of the lands that they have inside of their own religion. And, well, the rest of Warsaw will remain, but who knows how long it will, because, well, quite a bit of it is a runoff of the Polish religion. Speaking of Poland, let's look at this Polish, well, the new Polish state. We have Poland. I have colored them white to make it easier for me, but Poland will be kind of taking over these areas, and this is not really full. I might give them a couple more provinces. I have decided to give Poland this province right here and these two. But this also could be bad for Poland, as if we look, these areas are a part of the Germanic religion, not a part of the Polish religion, so this could escalate. But now let's look at the Germanic religion. Well, this just the Germanic, Orange Germanic country finally being back. Let's look at their peace treaty. We have the Germanic country getting all of these lands, but this isn't it. If we look at the religion map, we see that all of these areas are actually a part of the Germanic country. This is a runoff because Denmark has kind of been transitioning this into the Norwegian religion, which the Norwegian religion actually expands over all of this. And it's over here in Finland, so it's just going to be easier for them. Yeah, you'll see. And now that I'm thinking of it, I'm going to split this peace treaty into 3 different videos, being the European one because the European one is the biggest one. I'm then going to do the rest of the world, being the old world, including Oceania. Then there will be the new world, being the Americas. Those will be 3 videos. They will all be coming out. I'm going to release this one probably 15 minutes after the war. The old world, the rest of the old world after the 15 minutes after this one, and then you see 15 minutes. Yeah, you get it. But the thing is, we have the Germanic country annexing these lands off of Denmark, and the reason for that is because, well, they say they're pretty much, like, I don't even know what the Dutch team would be to the Germanic team. Their son, I guess, ate them, and then millions of years later, during World War III, invaded into these areas, which they now claim over. So Denmark is just going to be like, okay. Norway is kind of mad about this. Sweden is mad about this because of a reason you will see in a second. Denmark is going along with these two plans, so you'll see it in a second. But anyways, that is the peace treaty with the Germanic country. That is all they will be getting. Now let's look at the Dutch territory, and let's look what they have been divided up into. The Dutch team are going to lose out on some of the provinces down here, and they actually don't even get this province right here. And we actually see them divvy out these areas up here. These areas are underneath a different religion, so it makes sense why they're not in the Dutch team. And these are pretty much the final borders of the Dutch team after the war, even though if we look at the religion map, these areas are a part of the Dutch team. Some areas down here, they should be bigger, but the triangle team is not allowing that. This is going to piss off the Dutch team. But they can't do anything about it yet because they don't have an army to fight back with because of the plague. They actually give this province over to this purple team right here, and that makes the Dutch team furious. But yet, they cannot do anything about it. I just realized how long this peace treaty is going to be, and we're only on the European one. You guys are going to be getting treated today. I think we are almost done, well, except this. Let's go up to the Scandinavia. We see the Russian Empire taking over these areas of Finland. They will be getting all of this land, and, well, this is the greatest. Like, I think this is the most land they've ever had, especially because of this Finnish land up here. Maybe I know they had more over here. I think they had, like, up to Poland in this area, so I don't know if this is actually the most they've ever had. But I'm going to say it is because I make the rules. And, well, I'm actually not going to divide up Finland between these two, because the steps have been made, and the Scandinavian Union has just been founded between Norway and Sweden. And I said Denmark had something to do with this. They also join in on this union. And this is going to shock the world because no one saw this coming. And this is the first country to have 3 capitals. And they're all kind of in the same region. We have the Swedish capital, the Norwegian capital, and the Copenhagen. It's pretty much just Copenhagen, Stockholm, and Oslo, but Oslo is over here in real life. And you see this Icelandic area Iceland will be also joining in on this Scandinavian Union. But like I said, they are forced to get rid of their colonies over inside of Greenland and Canada. We will be looking at that inside of the peace treaty of the New World. A new superpower has entered Europe, and, well, after all this peace treaty stuff is done, you will see the power rankings, which I plan to do on Sunday because there will be a What If Civilization video started over on Sunday if I can get it out. But now the part that is going to kill my hand, and that is Central Europe. Pray for me, and you will see why I said that in a second. I'm going to kind of split this in half. All these areas over here of the Dutch team's empire will be split off, and then Yugoslavia and Romania will be another part. I'm going to do this all at once, and then I'll show you the end process, so I'll see you when it's done. So here is what Central Europe looks like. It is very crazy. The most important part is over here in this Russian region. Like I said, if we look at the religion, there's this purple thing right here, most importantly. It gets almost completely cut off, and it is now just this one major city, and it's just spread apart very badly. Real OGs should remember this kind of delta. I think I call it like delta for some reason. This kind of turquoise-ish, dark turquoise-ish country. This was a country that the Triangle team made, like the old Triangle team. You have to go back and watch, I think, like episode 10. The old Triangle team made, and it was to show peace between the triangles, and that fell apart. I think Russia invaded it or something, but that is now, it's back, but it has weird borders. A lot of these religions are getting cut off by major powers, like over here in Slovenia. A couple countries get cut off because of the religion and because of the borders. But if you just look around, I'm going to leave it right here for a second, and then just look at it. You're done? If you're done, then let's look at Yugoslavia. Here is, Yugoslavia and the other part of Europe. It is also kind of like the Holy Roman Empire. That was the reason I put out the teasers, Holy Roman Empire. And the biggest thing at all, again with Russia, see this yellow country? Well, if we turn off the background, they're supposed to have all of this, but they only get this one little province. If you remember these two countries right here, you're a goat. This is also the old Farmers Union. Well, not Farmers Union, but the old Romania. These two, they were, once Romania broke up, these two, if you go back, you'll find these two. The purple team also cuts off some religions, mainly this one right here and this one. It took a little bit of land, as well as this green team right here. I keep forgetting the name of it. I'm sorry. But anyways, I think that is it for Europe, and I am correct. This is a long peace treaty because of all the Holy Roman Empire states. This is part 1 of 3 of the peace treaty. That just shows how crazy this peace treaty is. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. There will be no daily shout out because that was in the last episode. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next episode. Just scroll on over there. Be premiering in like 15 minutes, I think, from the time you're seeing this. Well, from the time it ends. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.